Last week it was a blink and you miss it type of race with delayed incidents costing drivers valuable spots in the order. So tonight, let's take a different pace. Let's take a flight over the international dateline and from one former F1 track to another as we say hello once again to the land of the rising sun. As tonight, the Race Anywhere World Series is at the Okayama International Circuit and it's here live on Absolute Sim Racing. Good evening, everyone. My name is Craig King, and with me tonight is Stephen Proudly on the cameras. And tonight, we visit Okayama, formerly known as the TI Circuit Aida. This is one of the youngest tracks on iRacing, as it opened up in 1990. Something younger than me, just by a year. Designed by a golf course magnate, this track in the mountain of the Okayama was all for the wealthy when it was first made. Think about 15 million yen to even get yourself a place in this track. That's how much we're talking about. But then the series, all the racing series wanted to come to it. Super GT, Super Formula, they all wanted to come. And then in 1994 and 95, this track was used for the Pacific Grand Prix in Formula One. Both times won by Michael Schumacher. This 13-turn, 3.7-kilometer track had a mixture of high and low-speed corners. From turn 2, Williams, to the Atworth curve that takes you onto the long straight, and then the tricky final 4 corners demanding full concentration from the drivers. So after last week at Watkins, tonight's a vital race, even this early at round 3, for a lot of these competitors. There's a lot of gaps now between some of the drivers. Top 2 drivers in Pro and Am separated by just 5 points. But the rest of the grid, not looking good. I've not had a lot of experience at this track. I've watched a lot of racing at this track, and it looks fantastic. And being it's a free track on iRacing, I urge drivers to check this out. Whether it's your Ferraris, your Skip Barbers, your LMP2s, your supercars, you name it, give this track a go. We know slipstreaming in the series with 2 mandatory pit stops, it's all important because of that fuel saving. 2 main straights here, the start-finish straight and that long straight after the outward curve. It leads you into the hairpin, literally called hairpin when translated from Japanese. And that is going to be one of the best chances for overtaking on this track. Expect to see a lot of moves happening right there. And then, of course, I was talking about that final tricky 4 corners. Redman, Hobbs, 2 back-to-back hairpins, a left followed by a right. There is a little bit of overlap there if you want to try and make a move into Hobbs. If you go side-by-side in Redmond, you got to try and commit to make sure that's side-by-side at Hobbs. And then the last 2 corners, Mike Knight and last corner. Yes, I love the Japanese naming conventions. First corner is called first corner. Last corner is called last corner. It's fantastic. Those corners, they look high speed. They are a little bit slow. They are a little bit tight. So I was talking about those championships. They're pretty much tight with a couple minutes left to go in practice. We'll just go quickly over some of the standings in the amateur. I'll just run them down for you because Juan Malcoera has had a fantastic start of the season. 215 points after the end of second and a third at the start of the season. Then Andrew Madel comes into second with 210. He picked up a 4th and a 2nd last week at Watkins. Dean Timms on 205, and then Simon Dodd on 190. Michael Fowler rounds out the top 5 with 175. And then really an increments of 5 points on the rest of the field there in the amateurs. The Pro-Ams, kind of a similar story, apart from the lead. It's pretty big because Adam Chmielewski leads on 220 points, a 2nd and a 1st already this season. He is in strong contention with Rafael Garin only on 205. That's the biggest gap at the top of any of these championships. Daniel Sedgley on 185 is there as well with Harry Wills also on 185. Mitchell Marshall Valverde, I'm going to mess that name up. He's going to hate me for that. I will get it right on 180 in 5th. And then, of course, again, 5-point increments all the way around. And the pros, well, it's the RSR show once again after their 1-2-3 last week. Oscar Copeland leads the way on 220. Sean Campbell doesn't lead. He's behind him on 215. And then it's Lewis Ward on 195. That 4th and 5th gives him good strength there to stay there. James Armstrong, 185. What could have been for him if he had that win? We'd be talking last week instead of crashing. Sorry, he would be 3rd right now. That's a 10-point gap that he's lost there to Lewis Ward, and at the same time, he's now 30 points behind P2 in his quest for the championship. And Sylvain Dupuis also on 185 points. Talking about that other RSR driver, Jesse Jones, 180 in 6th place. So it's all to play for. Practice will shortly be over. And like I said, we were talking earlier about these corners and what it is with the high speed and the low speed. I'm just watching the times at the moment. We see on practice, Oscar Copa leading the way with a 1:27.7. Sean Campbell and Jesse Jones also join him in the 27.7s. And you're looking really for the pros hitting just non-stop 27s. It's very tight in practice for the pros. Pro-Ams, you're looking at 28s all the way around for 28s. And then the amateurs, they're just dipping into the 28s, but most of them getting 29s. Practice is over. Now, if you're new to the series, you're wondering where qualifying is. No qualifying. Reverse grid from the positions of the last race. So that means PJ Clayson will lead off the entire field for the pros with Fabian Scheistek, in P2. Cody Pride will be third. And then it's Kevin Platon in fourth. Jesse Jones will take home fifth, and Sylvain Dupuis will be sixth. James Armstrong gets seventh. Lewis Ward eighth. Sean Campbell ninth, and Oscar Copa will be 10th. Maxine Smith, not competing last week, will be 11th overall. For the Pro-Ams, it's Thomas Reiter leading off the way with Alban Kelberg also next to him. Quentin Kustal will be third in the Pro-Ams, and Florian Kopin will be there. Then it's Ethan Bass, Sophie Ridpad, Mitchell Marshalkaverd, Harry Wills, Daniel Stedgley, and Raphael Garin. And then for the amateurs, Ashret El Haddad will lead off the amateurs in his BMW. And Michael Patterman will be beside him. Timothy Vanderbroek will be then third. Goes Kiseki will be fourth. Werner S. fifth. Engel Badero will be sixth. Michael Fowler, seventh. Simon Dodd will be eighth. Dean Timms, ninth. Andrew Madel, 10th. And at the back of the field, last week's amateur winner, Juan Manuel Keala, will be the last car on the grid. I'm just looking. El Haddad will be taking a grid lane start here, so expect to see that. And we know PJ Clayson, it will be Fabian Scheistek that will lead us away in that Ford. Look at that. Look at that beautiful Ford. Yeah, it brings a tear to my eye to see a Ford still racing on iRacing. But as they come around White Knight into the last corner, get ready for an hour and 15 of the Race Anywhere World Series, as Fabian will hold them until he decides to go. And he almost catches Cody Pride out here, but he's going to hold. He's going to hold. Soon he will catch them going, and there he goes. And just look for the little bit of the front shot away as well. There's also a little bit of chaos behind it. The Pro-Ams have already started a bit early. He's going to watch Fabian go straight in. He's trying to just make sure Cody Pride that Jesse Jones does not get by, and he does not. Rest of the field almost going 3 wide behind with Sullivan Dupuis, just managing to make sure the RSR behind does not catch him. Still 2 wide though is Sean Campbell with Lewis Warren, and I think Campbell will finally get that. We've missed over battle state. The Pro-Ams already going. Thomas Reiter leading them off straight away, and there has been an incident straight away. Florian Kopin's been spun around there. Did not see who he got tangled with. He's going to have to get that car coming straight, because the amateurs, have already gone themselves. Patterman leads them off. Vanderbroek will be behind him in that BMW, and it looks like as well Andrew Badel tried to make some moves early on, but he's unable to. Michael Fowler will get by straight away. Patterman just holding on and making sure that he just keeps the lead very consistent there at the start of the race. Fabian's in the wall. Fabian's made a mistake. He's made a mistake out of Kuiper. And all of a sudden, you can just see he's losing positions at the front of the field. There goes Jones. There goes Pride. Already there are issues at the start of the race. He's overdoing it. A little bit of oversteer. And he's already got it behind. There's some battles as well. Giving way to the James Armstrong. Just having a little bit of a coming together as they're coming now down to the last corner. And out of nowhere, you can just see, look how wide Cody Pride's going. Manages to keep it going. A little bit of battles at the back. They might go 3 wide behind. Still got Sylvain Dupuis there side by side with Sean Campbell. 2 Lamborghinis. Campbell hold on to that position. He does. Maxine Smith, seeing it's his teammate, decides against it. And Oscar Copa there, straight into the pits. No idea what's happened to Cody there. To Oscar there, sorry. We'll have to wait and see. But Cody Pride leads them off. Wait. So let's have a look at some of these replays right now. Here comes Florian. Does he just get... You see Florian then just having a little bit of a moment. Does he lose it on his own? deliberately, yeah, losing it on its own. What's such weird? You can say there's a lot of tarmac there to use, but it's just such a tough one there to happen. That's such a shame here. Now, this is what happened to Oscar. We did see some issues here. Oscar's just going to come by. Does he just lose the back of it? He loses it. Is he going to get tapped? Wait, this goes wide. Looks like hardware failure for him there. He's just pulled over to the side. No idea what's happened there to Oscar. And then Cody Pride. You're going to see Cody Pride just here. We are now back live. And he is just going to hold on to these positions. And Fabian had a bit of damage to the back of that car. You'll probably see it in a moment. He does have a bit of damage in that Ford at the moment. He is holding on at the moment. So they're going to keep to their usual little pace there in the pros. And the pro-ams at the moment, Alvin Kelberg had managed to pull away. And even Bass is just there. Even Bass in a little queue with Quentin Kustow in front of him. Sophie Ripad behind in that Ferrari that was so tricky to get around last week. And right behind her, surprise, surprise, the man who could not get by her later in the race is Harry Wills. So he's just going to be holding on there. You can start to see now Harry Wills there in the BMW. What can he do? We were talking about this. This BMW has been known to be fast. The Ferrari last week at Watkins Glen, both Ferrari drivers, and you can see them in this shot, potentially, and Ripap, they were just unbeatable last week. Coming out of turn one straight up to the exit, it had so much top end speed. No driver had anything for them. And really the question is it going to be the same again? So it's going to be quite interesting to see. Now, Cameron Clayton there is going to be held up there, and that looks like that's going to be an overtake. It is indeed. And that looks like Sean Campbell making that move pretty easily there. Right there into, well, the corner I thought it was going to be. Hairpin corner, down to Revolver, down to Piper. You can start to see, as we predicted earlier in the race, well, the start of the race, that's the corner you have to just keep an eye out for an overtake. Now, these drivers have to try and make a move up the field. You should be seeing a lot of slipstreaming, a lot of trains there. Can they hold on to that? That is the question. Lewis Ward at the back there fighting with Smith. He's unable to get by at the moment. Last corner is so vital for these. It's just so vital, full stop. If you can make moves on that last, you can get the good exit on those last corners. Everything looks to be pretty good. But just kind of a quick, just having a technical. Yeah, we have a little bit of a technical issue at the moment. So